Halo 3 is a game that needs no introduction, especially if you were someone who yelled at your mom if she didn't get you the right Mountain Dew game fuel you wanted. This game is one that I've been playing for years. So long, in fact, that I started to think of ways to beat it that aren't just yelling at your friends to get to cover when you die like an idiot. Me? Halo, like most games I play, is violent. What if you wanted to take the violence out of Halo? Can you beat Halo 3 without killing anyone? Now, I'm gonna get this out of the way now. No, you can't beat the game without killing anyone. What I wanted to see is how few murders you can commit and still finish the game. There are no other rules I have in place for this run, however. I am thinking about doing a melee-only video, so let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Anyway, let's get right into it, baby. The first mission is Sierra 117. It started off easy enough, but from the very get-go of the game, I had a decision to make. Whether I wanted to wait for my teammates to fight and kill everything, or did I want to run through as fast as I can shouting speed run at the top of my lungs? Well, because I'm impatient and the AI in this game is not exactly the best, more on that later, I decided to run through like I was making a beeline for the manga section of Barnes & Noble. Since it's the first mission of the game, it was pretty easy so far. The section where you're supposed to get to Johnson's Down Pelican was the first real area of frustration in this run. At this point, my teammates were worthless. They either all died because I can't kill the big baddies to support them, or they were busy still fighting enemies that I ran past with the speed of Hermes. So I died a few times. But thankfully, I found a strat where I could avoid the big herd of nerds trying to murk me. Modern problems require modern solutions. The last section of the level was fairly easy too. All I had to do was run to the cage that they had Johnson and the boys in and set them free. From there, and I didn't know this, but the Pelican will arrive regardless of whether or not the Covenant are wiped out. So the first level's in the bag without killing anybody. Off to a great start, that's what we like to see. Crow's Nest is up next, and man am I thankful that I get to use my camera this time. This level is a maze. The first combat section of the level is fine. I'm not sure if it's time-based or if my teammates actually killed everyone, but either way, the hangar section was finished no problemo. The drone area was one that I thought was going to be a problem because they made quick work of all my teammates. However, I don't know if the AI just gets bored or whatever, but after they smacked most of the Marines in the room, they just stood on the wall like this for some reason, like some kind of a county fair shooting gallery. This one Marine did the work, but it took a while. Hey, at least the challenge was still alive. I'll take it. Unfortunately, this is where the challenge has failed. You have to kill at least some of the brutes that are in here. I killed 7, and it looks like you only need to kill about 5, as the door opens when you kill 5. Wait, hang on. Something about that didn't seem right. I went back as I was editing the video and figured out that all you have to do is kill the leader. Then you just run around and hide until you hear some brutes say, "Hang on, I'm on my way." When they say that, the door in the back is opened and you can progress with only 1 kill weighing on your conscience. The rest of Crow's Nest was nothing crazy either. The barracks were easy. I just ran through the vents on the top and only died a few times. The landing pad was something. I swear, the Arbiter's AI is so messed up. From here, it was activate the bomb and run past everyone to the end of the level, which is what I do anyway, so yeah. With 2 levels down, it was time to move on to Savo Highway, baby. This is the first driving heavy section of the game. I was gonna take extra care to make sure I didn't splatter anyone on this pacifistic pilgrimage, but this level really isn't anything special for this challenge, especially since you just have to drive around your teammates and make sure they kill the stuff. Even this area here, you just need to hop out, smack that thing, and move on. The only thing I found is that at the end of the level, you need to kill every enemy here. I even tried going back to kill just the leader, and you know what? I found out that if you just kill the turret and the leader of the pack, you can get by this level just like that. So that brings our grand murder total to 3. Not bad for finishing the game, or not bad for finishing the 3rd mission of the game. With Savo Highway conquered by Clippy, it was time to move on to the Storm. This mission was in the back of my mind ever since I started this run, kind of like when you have a bad case of SWAS. The reason is due to the Scarab section. When this challenge was just a twinkle in my eye, I knew that this section would be as controversial as the inclusion of skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty. Well, I decided to take a dive into the wiki to see if these things are alive or not, and this is what I found. Although the Scarab appears to be a traditional vehicle, it is actually a biomechanical construct that makes extensive use of the Lagolo, colonies of Lagolo worms. The Lagolo worms are bound together with the vehicle's control systems, though the Gestalt is seldom given complete control of the entire scarab. The Lagolo meta-colonies that inhabit scarabs are often populated by particularly unruly Lagolo, individuals that cannot be trusted with total control over the vehicle without causing undesired chaos. Whew! Wordy, huh? So, with this figured out, I kind of thought like it was like pulling the plug on an elderly relative who can't control their bladder. So, these aren't counted as murders in my book. As far as I can see, the Covenant troops have plenty of time to get off the burning ship, so their blood really isn't on these hot gamer guy hands. With the Scarab DED dead, it was smooth sailing the rest of the way. Yeah, sure it was. Thankfully, I didn't need to murk anyone here. All I needed to do was shoot the blasted glowy sack that dropped from the big AA gun. With all that done, it was on to the floody boys, baby. As I mentioned in the previous section, this is the first flood level of the game. This only took me 7 minutes. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm playing on normal difficulty. So it's easy, but still not as easy as, well, easy. So, with that said, there are no sections of this level which require any sort of killing. I just ran through it as fast as I could, so this level was in the bag. With that mind-numbingly easy-ass level out of the way, it was time for the arc, baby. This level wasn't awful, but I will say I did have to rely on my AI dudes a lot here. And let's be honest, they really don't do much unless you're driving. Anywho, I drove around in a Warthog here so my dude could whack these fools. And this is the part where I was expecting the AI to just drive on through and blow crap up. But unfortunately, the game is from 2007, so the AI is garbo. I had to get into a Warthog and basically inch forward while my Marine clapped him. This is really all this section was. Now, there was another Scarab here, but we already talked about that, so let's move on. So next, we raided this building, and unfortunately, I had to clap all these dudes' cheeks. I even tried waiting around to see if Johnson would show up quicker. He didn't. I even went back and tried to kill as few peeps as possible, but unfortunately, I had to kill 11 here. So that brings the grand total of murders to 14. Oof. Okay, so Covenant is the next level, and honestly, IMO, this is an underrated and forgotten about level in this game's campaign. And it's also a level where I figured something out. So this first section, you are tasked with taking out some anti-air dudes here. And, well, I gave my Spartan laser to my teammate with the hope that he would clap these dudes' cheeks with the might of Zeus. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. So what I found out is that if you run past this area, you can just keep going until you reach the first tower. And I was like, sick! You don't have to kill anyone on the way? That's rad. Well, unfortunately, you have to kill all the dudes in the tower control room. I tried to just kill the leader, but that really didn't work. I also tried to get my teammates up there, but it seemed like they thought the area had cooties or something because they wouldn't even go into the building. I guess they're cowards. Well, this adds more to my kill count. Unfortunately, you have to repeat this process again at another tower. I was trying to be all cool here in this air section and use the Spartan laser dude to take everything out, but for some reason he got yeeted from existence. So I was like, lol, and went straight to the second control room. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, I had to clap some more cheeks. Ugh. Well, the good news is that's the last instance of cheek clapping in this level. I know, spoilers, kill me. As we already talked about the Scarabs, we don't need to talk about the section with 2, because it ain't nothing but a thing. And the section where the Floody Boys help you is easy. You just take a stroll down memory lane, like the memories of when your parents were happy together. And the section after the cutscene is even easier, as you just run past all the flood to the end. Cortana is a level I won't talk too much about. I've known forever that you can just run through this level as fast as you can. I always hated it when I was younger, so I have plenty of experience running through here like a cat runs through the house at 3 AM. Although, since this level can be more hectic than DoorDash and Fall Guys, I did die plenty of times. I'm just happy I could see where I was going this time. I don't understand how I didn't go insane without moving the camera. Anyway, this level was an easier one so far since the Flood are very melee-focused enemies. All I had to do was keep bunny hopping to avoid them. And with this level wrapped up, and our favorite E-girl in hand, it was time to move on to the finale, baby. The last level of the game, which is called Halo, because of course it is a level that I usually love. It has an awesome driving section, a cool climb to the top of the tower, and you get to kill that annoying little robot dude, and well, his death doesn't really count because he's a robot. Anyway, I will say that if this level wasn't the last level of the game, I would have taken so much longer to get this video out. This section got me so pissed off, so frustrated, that I took a break from the game for a little bit. Just this section, climbing the tower, was so agonizing, so frustrating because the Arbiter is so worthless as a teammate, and Johnson isn't much better when you finally get to the top of the tower, that I just couldn't take it. There are so many Flood just jumping, shooting, and hitting you at all times that this was the first time I really felt like this level was difficult in all my years of playing the Halo 3 campaign. Cortana is a mission that a lot of people talk about as being the hardest mission in Halo 3, and that, at least, is in an enclosed space, so the Flood don't have a ton of room to jump and shoot at you. But here, it's just wide open madness, and it's definitely the dose of ball-busting fury I was hoping to get attempting this challenge. It was pain. However, chugging some game fuel and getting the courage to continue like the true gaming Chad I am, I pushed through and got to the section with the Guilty Spark. It was an easy, air quotes, boss fight, but now it was on to the fun part. The section getting to the hog wasn't too bad. I did die a few times, but I shook it off. Now, I wanted to make sure I got through this driving section without killing anyone either, and that means being conscious of spattering the Flood, even the little tiny dudes. So I made sure to get into the Mongoose because it's hard to splat people with that thing. Now, because it's a Jonah Kragt video, there had to be some sort of drama. I got stuck under this piece of floor here, and thankfully I was able to get out and get rolling. From here, the drive was a piece of cake. The Mongoose is small enough to avoid everyone fairly easily. So, on my victory lap, I decided to see the Easter egg grunt. And, on the next life, I was able to not make this jump, but make the jump, and finish Halo 3, killing as few people as possible. People of the internet, thank you for watching and joining me on this pacifistic pain train. This challenge wasn't as hard as my no camera run, however it was much more frustrating. The reason for this is because in the camera run, I was at least able to laugh it off and be like, lol, well, I am doing a hard challenge. This one was just frustrating because when you thought you would get past an area or you thought a section would be easy but instead you just got whacked in the back like it was in a Top Gun locker room, it really just made for a bad time. Anyway, I'm happy to see that the kill count was only 24. I was thinking it would be much higher than that. I'm sure there are ways to get the number even lower, so I'd be super excited to see what people could do to reach that. Comment down below if there's any ways that you can think of to minimize this number. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to become the latest member of the Cringe Club. And speaking of the Cringe Club, we have an official Cringe Club Discord server that will be linked below in the description. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again for watching, everybody.